On August 27, 1896, the British Empire declared war on an African sultanate at 9 in the morning. By 9:38 that same morning, the war was over. 38 minutes. That's all it took, making it the shortest armed conflict in all of recorded human history. And the most absurd part isn't even that. The most absurd part is why it started. Welcome to BLOWNKEY, where the wildest facts in the universe hit you like a ton of bricks. We're in Zanzibar, a sultanate on the east coast of Africa, in what is now Tanzania. In 1896, Zanzibar was a British protectorate, meaning the British didn't control it directly, but had enormous influence over who ruled and how. On August 25th of that year, Sultan Hamad bin Tuwaini died. He had maintained good relations with the British. And that's where the problem started. The following day, his cousin Khalid bin Bargash seized the palace and declared himself sultan, without asking permission, without consulting the British, without any diplomatic protocol whatsoever. The British had a clear rule. Any new Sultan of Zanzibar needed approval from the British Consul General before taking power. Khalid didn't just ignore that rule. He started arming troops, gathering soldiers, cannons, and everything he could find in the palace. By the time the British reacted, Khalid already had between 2,800 and 3,000 armed men inside the palace. The British sent an ultimatum: disarm your troops, lower your flag, and surrender the palace before 9 a.m. on August 27th. Or there would be consequences. Khalid responded that he had no intention of surrendering, and that he was confident the British wouldn't actually attack. At 9:02 a.m. on August 27, 1896, the British Navy opened fire on the Palace of Zanzibar. 5 warships, long-range cannons, against a palace with soldiers, a couple of old cannons, and a royal yacht that Khalid tried to use as a warship. The yacht was sunk within the first few minutes. The palace cannons fired once before being destroyed. The palace began to burn. At 9:40 a.m., the flag of Zanzibar was lowered from the palace. The war was over. 38 minutes from the first shot to the surrender. The casualties were completely asymmetric. British side, 1 sailor wounded, 0 deaths. Zanzibar side, between 500 and 600 casualties. Most of Khalid's soldiers died in the first minutes as the palace collapsed under naval fire. And Khalid, the man who started all of this, who rejected the ultimatum, who was confident the British wouldn't attack, fled to the German consulate in Zanzibar during the bombardment and requested political asylum. The British searched for him for years. He was eventually captured in 1916, 20 years after the war that lasted 38 minutes. And here's the fact most people don't know. After the war, the British simply installed the sultan they wanted, Hamad bin Mohammed, who was far more cooperative. Zanzibar remained a British protectorate. But what's truly unsettling is this. The 38-minute war wasn't the result of years of tension, historical rivalries, or deep territorial conflicts. It was essentially the result of one man who didn't read the rules correctly and called a bluff. 600 people died in 38 minutes because someone thought the British weren't serious. The shortest war in history. 38 minutes, an ignored ultimatum, a destroyed palace, and 600 casualties against none. Next time someone tells you the consequences of a bad decision can't come that fast, tell them this story. If this blew your mind as much as it did mine, subscribe. Every week, I bring you a fact that's going to change the way you see the world. See you in the next one.